Hello everybody, Neffertity here, and I am pleased to announce that I am bringing back my free base Fridays. Now, to new viewers of my channel who aren't exactly sure what this series is, it's basically what it sounds like. Every Friday, I will release a free line art ref sheet base that you can download on my website. And if you want to go a little bit extra and support me a little further, you can either purchase the PSD file that comes with all the pre-made layers that are much easier to color and fill in, or you can support me on Patreon at the $5 tier or higher to get access to every base that I release for absolutely free. This is a series that I've done for a while and kind of fell into a little bit of a slog with and just haven't produced one for quite a while now, but I'm really happy that I'm able to get back into this and I'm hoping to be more consistent with it. If there's a particular species that you're interested in seeing that you just don't think there's a ref sheet that exists for, please feel free to leave a comment below as a suggestion. And you can go check out more of the bases that I've offered on my website because I have a whole bunch of them to choose from, of a bunch of really obscure and more common species within the fandom. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get directly into this video and producing this brand new ref sheet just for you. Okie dokie, so I have a little bit of a confession to make. This ref sheet isn't exactly a brand new species, as it's one I've actually done before, but I'm really hyper obsessing over these guys right now, so I really felt like this would be a good way for me to kind of get back into the groove of doing these ref sheets again. So I'm going to take a little bit to kind of explain what exactly this species is. These are called a Dromaelocera. It's a name that I created for these based on two Latin terms. We have the Dromae being the classification for raptor-like dinosaurs, and the locera being the other half of butterflies. So we essentially have like a butterfly raptor, but these guys are a little bit more complex than that. Dromaelocera are a type of alien species that live on the distant planet Valdez. This is a mostly aquatic planet covered in large vast oceans with very minimal land bases. And the land that does exist consists of very tall high cliff faces and peaks, mostly covered in tropical rainforest-like greenery. Because their planet is mostly filled with water, Dromaelocera are semi-aquatic species that spend most of their time swimming underwater and hunting fish. They have very sharp and angular teeth for catching and holding onto prey, as well as webbed hands and feet. A Dromaelocera's head frills also function as gills, so that when water passes over them, they're able to breathe underwater. Dromaelocera also have very keen night vision with their bright and stunning eyes. And you may notice that the little gemstones on their forehead have a very particular standout-ish appearance to them. The gemstones are something that are present on their faces from birth, and they are always color matching to whatever color their little butterfly bits are. Most oftentimes within the lore of their planet, Dromaelocera are portrayed as being feral creatures. However, in the sake of this reference sheet, I've decided to portray them in an Anthro form because I may or may not be working on some pre-made fursuits for them. Hey, check that out. Pretty cool, huh? I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to release these, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Especially because I've worked really hard on bringing the designs to life and capturing them as close to the concept art as I physically could, even including their big long tendrils. So I'm really excited to eventually release these. I have two special ones that are going to be coming out based on the monarch butterfly and the morpho butterfly respectively. And they are also going to be a little bit more of a unique variant of the species. Because while this is completely and totally open to the public, like you're more than welcome to make your own one of these things. That's also why I'm making a ref sheet base for them so that you can just design your own whenever you feel like it. But there is a subject category of the species called the elite. The elite variant is slightly different in how they appear, mostly because they have two extra tendrils that come out of their lower spine, and their arms have pretty much mutated into giant wings with little weird fingers coming out of the top of them. Think kind of like a bat wing, that's the best way I can explain it. Now, initially when I designed these guys, I had chosen to have the elite variant be a closed portion of the species, because I wanted them to remain rare in the lore of their planet. Elites are not a good thing. Having big, flappy wings like that creates a lot of drag in the water and slows them down, thus reducing their survivability because they cannot escape predators as easily, and it also makes it much harder for them to go through the water fast enough to catch prey, Therefore, it's very difficult for them to feed themselves properly so that they can survive. On a planet that's mostly covered in water, wings really don't do much to help you. And like I said, when the species was initially created, I chose to have that portion be a closed variant because I did not want there to be a whole lot of them. It was supposed to be a mutation for the elites. But since then, I've been following very closely with people's opinions regarding closed species, and I've come to the decision that even if I wanted to have them remain closed and unique, there's simply nothing I can do to stop people from making them, because people will, I guess, to put it in as flat as a term as I can, people will violate your boundaries and they will just do it anyway. So with that in mind, I've just chosen to make the whole species open regardless. You know, go ham, design your own, make them an elite if you want. I don't care anymore. I've created the ref sheet base, so you can do whatever. I'm not going to release a elite base specifically, so you can edit it if you want, but the base for it is just going to be here and available to you, so you're more than welcome to it. This is a species that I put a lot of time into developing their world and their biology, and eventually I want to work on creating a VR model for them. I did actually commission a VR model for one of them. The one that I personally commissioned is my Dromaelocera named Hemlock. She is an elite, and I commissioned her model from, I'm so sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, Ilguri. I'll put their Twitter on screen so that you can see and go check out their work, because they do very, very beautiful sculptures, and their modeling work is just breathtakingly gorgeous. I love their work, but I'm definitely going to have my work cut out for me doing the retopology, because holy smolines, there's a lot of topology on this thing. Like, look at this. Oh my god. It's so pretty, and I love it. She looks so cool, but oh my god, that topology. It's gonna take me so long to retopo this thing and make it rigged with a skeleton for VR, but eventually I'll have my personal one rigged, and then I'll get around to sculpting myself a base for these guys so that I can release a base for VR chat so that people can customize them and have their own in VR, because I just think that'd be really cool, and I'm like hyper obsessed over virtual reality right now because it's like making fursuits but without the limitations of stupid Earth gravity and biology limiting what we can and can't do. So it's really cool. Plans for the future. I have no idea, no time frame when this is going to be done. I mostly have to finish and work on other commission projects before I do anything like this, so it's probably going to be at least a few months. I've also never attempted to sculpt anything this detailed before, and I still have yet to model a face from scratch, so I'm definitely going to have a bit of a struggle trying to figure out how to do that myself. I'm going to have to reach out to some friends of mine who do modeling more frequently, and hopefully they can provide some advice for me so that I don't go into this totally blind, because there's a lot of detail on these guys, but I'm overall pretty happy with them. I really like how the ref sheet base came out, and I hope to release more lore and stuff about them in the near future. So, yeah, enjoy the Dromaelocera! And again, I just want to reiterate that you can download the line art for these guys from my website for absolutely free. It costs nothing to download the line art. If you do want all the pretty colors and the pre-made layers and stuff, you do have to either purchase it from my website store, which this particular base is $5, or you can support me on Patreon for the $5 tier or higher, and you get access to all PSD files for all of my ref sheet bases that I've ever released. So that's pretty cool. Plus, you get to support my awesome work in the return. I know it's been a very, very long time since I've done one of these, and I'm gonna try to be more consistent about it. So I'll be reviewing the comments and seeing what kind of suggestions people want. If you want me to definitely see your suggestion, make sure you use the hashtag FreeBaseFriday when you comment, because I can filter things that way and I'll be able to find it much easier, and it'll allow me to see what people are more interested in for which species I should do. Just make sure that you check my website first and make sure that I haven't already done one. I'm also kind of intentionally avoiding very common species, such as like basic dogs or house cats or wolves, because there are a ton, like there are literally hundreds of bases for these species. So I don't necessarily have a desire to add yet another one into the world. I feel like if there's enough interest in one, I might do one just for the sake of it. But I would prefer to stick to the more obscure species that there's really no ref sheet bases for. The only thing I will say is that I will never make a ref sheet base for a species that a creator has deemed closed. This is not up for debate. I choose to respect the boundaries that the artists and creators have put in place for their creations, and I will not be violating those boundaries and making a base of a closed species regardless. So, yeah, just to kind of wrap everything up, Dromaelocera are totally open. Feel free to make your own. There's 2 bases. I have the Anthro base and the Feral base. If you want an elite, go ahead and make an elite. I can't stop you. And I'm really hoping to keep on with making more ref sheet bases every Friday. So, yeah. Thank you so very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day and a fantastic life.